She was sleeping in row 10, her head gently resting against the airplane window, unaware of the storm of fate about to awaken her. Passengers around her were busy with their magazines, movies, and conversations, as if this was just another flight from one city to another. But life has a strange way of choosing its moments. And in the stillness of that aircraft cabin, destiny was quietly waiting for her to open her eyes, a few rows ahead. The captain's voice soon broke the calm with words no passenger ever expects to hear. "Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any combat pilots on board? Asterisk, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and extraordinary acts of courage hidden in ordinary people, then please take a second to like this video. Share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Legends of History. Your support helps us keep telling these powerful stories that touch hearts." Asterisk, the story begins years before that flight, when a young woman named Sarah once soared in the skies, not as a passenger, but as a fighter pilot. She had grown up with a fire in her heart, the kind that pushes a person beyond limits. Her father was a mechanic, her mother a nurse, and together they had built a childhood full of values, sacrifice, discipline, and service. From the moment Sarah saw jets cutting across the skies as a little girl, she knew where she belonged. But dreams don't come easy. She faced grueling training, long nights of study, bruises from harsh drills, and countless doubts about whether she was strong enough. Yet, with every obstacle, she only grew tougher. Soon, she wore the uniform with pride, a symbol of resilience against all odds. Asterisk. Her years in service were filled with daring missions and the heavy responsibility of carrying lives in her hands. She wasn't just a pilot. She was a protector. But with great service came scars, not all of them visible. On her final mission, a malfunction mid-air nearly cost her not only her own life, but also the lives of those she was defending. Though she landed safely, the weight of that moment never left her. She retired quietly, walking away from the skies she loved, her confidence fractured, haunted by what-ifs. To the world, she was simply another civilian. To herself, she was a shadow of who she had once been. Asterisk, years passed. And on that ordinary flight, Sarah had booked a ticket like everyone else, choosing a seat in row 10, close to the wing where she always felt most calm. She dozed off, the hum of the engines, a familiar lullaby from her past. But peace is fragile. Suddenly, the aircraft shuddered, oxygen masks dropped, and the captain's urgent announcement pierced the air. A severe mechanical issue threatened their safety. The flight crew was trained for emergencies. But this was different, a rare technical failure that needed specialized knowledge, the kind only someone who had lived and breathed combat aviation could understand. That's when the captain's voice asked the impossible question, "Any combat pilots on board?" Asterisk, at first, Sarah hesitated. Fear surged through her veins. She was no longer the fearless aviator she once was. She was just a retired woman, carrying invisible wounds. Memories of her last mission came rushing back. What if she failed again? What if this time, lives were lost because of her hesitation? But then she looked around. Families clutching their children, elderly couples holding hands, strangers praying under their breath. They needed someone. They needed her. And in that moment, Sarah realized that courage doesn't disappear with time. It only hides, waiting for the right moment to return. Asterisk, her heart pounded as she stood up. The cabin crew quickly recognized the look in her eyes, steady, determined, unshakable. She was led to the cockpit, where the pilots were battling to control the aircraft. Technical alarms screamed, panels flashed red, and panic loomed over every decision. But when Sarah placed her hands on the controls, a strange calm filled the space. The years of training, the countless hours of missions, the instincts honed through fire, they all came rushing back as if they had never left her. Asterisk, the flight was in peril. But Sarah guided the team with precision. She advised the captain, recalibrated systems, and together they fought the storm. Minutes felt like hours, every second hanging on the edge of disaster. Sweat trickled down her forehead, but her eyes stayed locked on the horizon. The passengers never knew the details, but they felt the shift, the steadiness in the aircraft, the sense that someone extraordinary was in control. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the plane touched down safely. Wheels screeched, hearts pounded, and silence filled the cabin before it erupted into tears and applause. Sarah didn't seek recognition. She quietly walked back to row 10, her face pale, her hands trembling. She sat down, almost as if nothing had happened. But inside her, something had changed forever. The moment she feared most, failing again, had become the very moment that healed her. She had faced the ghosts of her past and rediscovered the strength she thought she had lost. For the passengers, she was a hero. For herself, she was finally whole again. And perhaps that's the lesson life was trying to remind her. And all of us. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about standing up when everything inside you wants to sit down. It's about answering the call when the world needs you most. Even if you doubt yourself. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like this video. Share it with someone who could use a reminder of courage, and subscribe to Legends of History. Your engagement helps us keep bringing these real and emotional stories to life. Special request. Comment below with these words. Courage lives within us all, so we know you stayed with Sarah's journey until the end.